Live from the Lucas Oil Studios, it's Horsepower Hump Day.
Whoa.
Because every NASCAR fan needs a push of the old bumper to get them over that hump.
Stop. Oh, my God.
Here's Kenny, Crash, Richie, and Cole. Let's get humping, boys.
Motorheads, your hump days will never be the same with the Freaks. As we go live at 5 o'clock Eastern, let me do the math here, 2 o'clock Pacific. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. Crasher, yours truly, Cole, Richard C. Suave. We're all here, and it's a hump day celebration of big-ass motorsports. We mostly focus on NASCAR and what happened the week prior and what's coming up the week after, and some things that dropped during the middle of the week. In fact, Freak Nation, coming up on Friday, Mario Andretti, regarded the greatest driver of a motorsports car in history, turns 85. So, Crasher, you and I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday for about an hour.
I was blown away. Yeah, he just sat there and was like, what you got? Ask me anything. Thanks, Mario.
And he's been coming to the Freak Nation for, again, 23, 24 years. Mm-hmm. In fact, Richie, it's on that rundown somewhere, I believe, unless you deleted it, Richard. On that rundown, there is the phone message that when people would call SpeedFreaks offices in California, this is what they would hear. Richie, can you play that?
Let me bring it up here. Hang on. Where is it? Hello.
Down towards the bottom there. You see it?
Yeah, this is back when people had landlines. Back when we actually had an office, not just a studio, but an office completely separate. What were those barrister offices where you'd walk in, you'd have like 3 people attending the phones and the offices?
Oh, I think this is it.
An entire group of 100 offices that they made.
Thank you for not telling me that we were going to play this, and then I was there. So here we go. This is
Kenny's MO.
Yeah, this is Mario Andretti's voicemail message to the Freak Nation for the last 20 plus years. Here we go.
Hello, this is Mario Andretti. You've reached the offices of SpeedFreaks. Leave a message, and I'm sure they'll be happy to get back to you if you take them out to lunch.
There's also a soundbite that he gave us regarding carrying a jockstrap, where we're the only show that could carry his jockstrap. I mean, Cole Solano, is that the only thing that? What kind of endorsement do you need if you can carry Mario Andretti's jockstrap? Right.
That's all you need. You're set for life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He is the GOAT of motorsports, in my opinion.
Some people don't want to agree with that, but you name anybody over the last 100 years, he was the driver of the century in the 20th century, who won championships on dirt late models, sprint cars, champ cars, Indy car, Formula One, the Daytona 500, the Sebring 12 hours. Sorry, I don't think anybody else is that diverse and has that many championships and big time wins.
You know what? Guys like Max Verstappen, sorry, Richard C. Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher can kiss my ass. Right. Kiss it as many times as they like, because Mario Andretti would run circles around those happy bastards. What Crasher just said, all those disciplines, he won championships in, and he just didn't pull a Daytona 500 type win where you were leading at the end of the race. He was dominant in these series. And for anyone to argue, is there anyone that could make a valid argument of a better driver over the last 100 years than Mario?
People want to throw, and it's a valid argument. It really is. AJ Foyt's name in there. And yes, AJ Foyt also won championships on dirt and IndyCar. He also won the Daytona 500, but he doesn't have Formula One, and he doesn't have as many sports car victories. So that's where the edge out is. The IndyCar purists will say, but he's got 4 Indy 500s and Mario only has 1. Okay, fine. But we're talking overall championships. They're both freaking spectacular drivers back in their day, and still both spectacular people today.
I looked up, I did some Google searching here in the Freak Nation. I asked our crack staff, who's behind the camera and are non-existent, to look up a list of the 100.
In fact, I would put Dan Gurney behind Richard's shoulder. Dan Gurney for president. I'd put Dan Gurney ahead of AJ Foyt. Go ahead. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, so you guys are going to freak out when you read this list. This is the 100 greatest racing drivers according to motorsportmagazine.com. I'm going to read you the top 4. in
Okay.
ascending order. Okay. Number 4, Juan Manuel Fangio, one of the founders
Okay.
of Formula One. I can see that for sure. Number 3, Ayrton Senna. Absolutely. 100% agree with that. Number 2,
Curious though. If they're doing what a lot of people do with Senna, I knew that was going to come up. If they are using projections, like if he would have been alive, stayed alive, projecting, would he have been one of the top 5 drivers of all time? So in his short career, they're saying he's number 3.
number 3.
Holy smokes.
Absolutely. Number 2, Lewis Hamilton. And number 1, according to Motorsport.
Richard, it better be Mario freaking Andretti.
Number 1, according to motorsportmagazine.com, is a Formula One world champion.
Mario Andretti.
Multiple time
Richie.
Formula One
Michael
world
Schumacher.
champion.
Oh, this is an F1 skewed
Yes, it is. Come
list.
on.
That's an F1 skewed list.
He
Nope,
has since
nope,
passed
nope.
away. He is no longer with us.
Michael. Wait,
No.
what? Oh,
No.
So who are we
A
talking
multiple time champion.
Yes. Jim Clark, the
Oh.
British racing driver from the 1960s and 70s.
Listen,
about? Very skewed poll there.
ask Cusimano over there. Hey,
Nope.
how many times do you go on motorsports.com.tv.lv? They could kiss my Cole. Come on, even you know better than that, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's no world where Mario Andretti is not a bare minimum top 3 in all of motorsports. That's just absolutely asinine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is it? Motorsports.com? What the-
Motorsportmagazine.com.
Oh,
This
come
It's
on.
just not Formula One drivers, too, because they have the great legendary Richard Petty, ranked number 21 overall.
21. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Well-
No, it's highly F1 skewed, and I can't stand it when polls like that go out because it's like you've got to have people that know every discipline of racing in order to make these polls completely fair. And no, the people that put that poll together, they're F1 skewed. No, Richard Petty, 21, my ass. That's just wrong.
Cole, what'd you have?
I'll be frank. As you guys know, I have a deep NASCAR background, so
Mhm.
all the other series, very, very minimal general knowledge. I've probably never heard of Jim Clark. Just saying. So I don't know how he could be number 1.
Caitlin Clark's great grandfather.
but- yeah.
Well done, Kenny.
Like that?
That's really good.
So-
No, Jim Clark was phenomenal. Absolutely. But no.
So needless to say, we're pretty much Mario Andretti snorkelers here in the Freak Nation.
Mhm.
When, as we've learned over doing 25 years, and this is a humble brag indeed, the bigger they are, the easier they've been for speed freaks. Mario, Richard Petty, John Force, Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, all those individuals have been in the Freak Nation multiple times. And even those now that are huge, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Larson, Dario Franchitti, Kyle Busch,
Tony Kanaan,
It's the bigger they are.
Scott Dixon.
Yeah, it's been a great ride with those individuals. Mario Andretti. We'll get to some of these awesome sound bites. Mario's been coming here for 22 years. I had no idea he drove for Smokey Yunick, and the story that he has. What's Cage UFC cage match, dude?
Yes.
What is he?
Suitcase Jake.
Suitcase Jake.
UFC cage.
We're gonna have Mario talking about Suitcase Jake and Smokey Yunick and a pogo stick. It's all part of the interview.
Yep.
Also coming up in moments, Austin Hill, the Dominator. And is it true? It is now Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is it?
It definitely should be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was just. Again, I think we said this Sunday night. It was MC Hammer's like, don't hurt him, Hammer. Don't hurt him, Austin.
Please
Right,
don't
Cole?
hurt him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, 90% of the laps led in that race.
Right.
Just complete onslaught by Austin Hill.
Does the microphone smell? Because you're awfully far away from it. No, get closer
No,
to it.
it smells good to me.
Okay, good. Get closer. Get the mic. There you go.
Botchlia gloop, a little bit hanging
Botcha
up
gloop.
there. Yeah.
Botcha
Botcha
gloop.
gloop.
So we're going to hear from Austin Hill talking about the alter ego of Carson Hocevar.
You coined it, Ken.
Have we patented it, trademarked it, Richard C?
According to twitter.com, Hocevar is trademarked
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
by us. Yeah, we
Oh,
did it. Yeah,
okay,
because if you follow us on Twitter at SpeedFreaks, you will see that Hocevar
Yeah.
is trademarked.
Same
How
here.
did
There's
you
a-
do that?
There's a trademark logo next to Hocevar.
How
so.
did you get the font to be that with the TM?
I can't give you my secrets, Crash. Come on.
Valid.
So we're going to hear from Austin Hill with his take on what happened with Carson Hocevar, a.k.a. Hocevar. at Atlanta in the Cup Series race. Also, parimutuel betting in its horse track form coming to NASCAR. We'll talk about that. Connor Zilisch is the hype for reals. Dude's going to be running in a Cup car and an Xfinity Series car coming up in next weekend at COTA, a mile shorter track at COTA. But first, what I'd like to talk about is Mario Andretti. Yeah, I was debating how much we should talk about. We just spent freaking 10 minutes talking about Mario.
Yeah. I thought we were going to go with the old Austin Hill.
You're
Let's
right.
get last weekend done with before we
Sorry,
move
my
forward.
rundown is just ass backwards. That's why. Nice cover. All right, so we talked a little bit about Austin Hill at the top of the show and his take on Carson Hocevar and the way he worked his way into the top 5 in Atlanta. And Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott. Anybody else, Cole, had a sweet little conversation with Carson Hocevar that we know of?
I mean, yeah, we had, like you said, Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch was mad at him. I don't think that had a
Oh,
conversation.
he called him a moron, an
Right,
effing
right.
moron, right?
Yeah.
There are a few F-bombs dropped.
No, I think he got all the bases covered, though.
So Austin Hill, Richie, do you have that ready to go?
Yeah, baby.
Austin Hill, who won for the 3rd straight time, 5 times overall at Atlanta in the Xfinity Series race Saturday afternoon, who's known to be a fairly rough driver himself. We had Austin on with us a couple of days ago, which, by the way, you can watch the full interview on our YouTube page, Official Speed Freaks on YouTube. Here's Austin Hill talking about how he sees Carson Hocevar, his driving abilities or inabilities, and how he thinks it just might be straightened out. Listen, you've not been shy about your opinion on certain drivers, and I'm not saying that you've been the softest driver out there either, Austin. But when you watch Carson Hocevar, his second year in the Cup Series, the dude's still learning. I thought he was put up too early anyway, but I'm not paying the money here. But when you watch a guy like Carson Hocevar explore this Cup Series, what's your take on how he's racing these other Cup guys?
Well, I mean, he definitely shows the aggression level, and I'm not ever going to tell a driver that they shouldn't be aggressive. I'm obviously one of the more aggressive drivers in the Xfinity Series, but I also try to do it with a little respect at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like I try not to make a lot of people mad, even though I am aggressive, and even though maybe at times I do make people mad. But what I saw at Atlanta, there was quite a few drivers that were pretty mad at the situation at hand. So I think he has a lot to learn. Obviously, he's a good driver. He can run up front. He can run up front in the Cup Series apparently. So maybe he'll get it figured out. If not, somebody might figure it out for him. I don't know, but it's definitely interesting to follow along, and I'm just glad that I don't have to race him each and every week, because I think him and I would butt heads.
Yeah, I was listening to Denny Hamlin's Action is Detrimental this week, and as a guy who's been around the sport for 20 years, I thought it was interesting to listen to him and his take on the Carson Hocevar kind of new generation of racing. And he called him out a little bit. I'm going to read his quote here. He said, "The thing is, if you got a bunch of guys upset with you, it just makes your job so hard. It really does. It makes it hard in so many aspects, because you've got restarts and that drivers are like, screw him. I ain't afraid to put him, shove him 3 wide or shuck him out." So Denny he spent a lot of time on his show talking about how he once again sounded old man yelling at clouds because he was like, "Oh, this new generation of drivers doesn't know how to race. What they do is almost like video game moves, and they're just trying to get you out of the way, whether that be at a Superspeedway or a short track." And he made a great comparison, Kenny Crash Cole, where Jimmy Johnson, as great as he was, 7 championships, you never heard anybody talk about Jimmy Johnson the way that people talk about Carson Hocevar, because Jimmy Johnson raced the right way, and he beat you the right way. Not only because he had the best car, but he was a great at his racecraft, and he won for a reason, and nobody was pissed off at him, if only because he was, he won all the time.
Yep.
But
Well, another 7-timer that you did hear a lot of scuttle about, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just plain different styles of driving. So, I mean, I like what Austin Hill said there. It's okay to be aggressive, but be respectful at the same time. And what Carson Hocevar was doing at the beginning of the race in Atlanta was not respectful. At the end, hey, have at it. Have at it. I think he was totally in the right.
Do you guys, sorry, Cole, do you guys think this has anything to do? And I thought about this when watching this show, and I don't know if you guys are going to make the same comparison or not, but does this have anything to do with the iRacing thing? Because if you're racing in iRacing online, you can just push and shove all you want and there's no repercussions. And that's how Carson Hocevar and William Byron and a lot of these younger guys, Rajah Caruth, they all grew up racing online, and that's how they learned to race more so than at short tracks or etc. like your Jimmy Johnsons or your Jeff Gordons. Or am I crazy? Or am I sounding like an old man yelling at a cloud where a lot of people are like, oh, video games are ruining our generation? That's what I sound like now.
For me, I don't think it's that much to do with Twitch and iRacing, only because you mentioned it right there. William Byron, Rajah Caruth, they came out from the same background, and they really don't have that aggression on track. But I want to see the aggressiveness from Carson Hocevar and some of these younger drivers, because there's a way you can do that to start your career out and make a name for yourself, and then you could level out, kind of like Brad Keselowski did, former champion. You know, he got his start in the Cup Series, making these aggressive, crazy moves, but he was winning races. Now he's kind of like calmed down and just been more like a Jimmy Johnson-esque, Kevin Harvick-esque driver, where they're not making these crazy moves on track and they're still being successful. So I think it's good to make a name for yourself, but if you get into that habit of doing it later in your career, like even look at Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is a great example as well.
There you go.
2-time champion, started off making crazy moves, moving people out of the way, and now he's kind of calmed down. So I think it's a balance.
I think it's also recency bias, because you just brought it up. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, all these guys ran the same damn way. This is on his second season in Cup. Yet we're throttling him like he's an 8, 9, 10-year veteran.
Immature.
Give him Kevin. Listen, Kevin Harvick, of all people, who was a freaking rad driver, like that word there, Richie, where he was as gnarly inside the car as he was outside the car. There was just, when we started SpeedFreaks 25 years ago, when Kevin Harvick came on the scene, it's like, mother effer, what is going on with this guy jumping on some people's hoods and getting in the face? Whoa. But he calmed down, won himself some championships. That's what I don't like, all this blowback with Carson Hocevar. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get the names in there. I don't like it. I think it's unfair as hell, man. And I didn't think about that, Richard, because I'm the same way. I was at main event with my daughter and her 2 buddies running these different racing videos, and we were on a MotoGP bike, sports car, and I don't know what the kind of stock car it was, and that's how I was running them. I was running over trees and
you're beating and banging, you're doing whatever it takes, because you know there are no repercussions for your actions.
So Hocevar also comes from.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's how he grew up by any means, but like he streams on Twitch all the time, iRacing, right? So that's why I tend to think of that was more of like a generalization of these younger set of drivers who all share that in common for the most part, is doing a lot of that when they're younger, for sure. And real quick, I did put a poll out on Sunday asking if Carson Hocevar was good or bad for NASCAR. And 79% say Carson Hocevar is good for NASCAR.
Boom.
There you go.
There it is.
Right.
I think it's just a maturation process, honestly. But I think the reason why he's getting so much blowback from the drivers specifically is because he's been known to do this when he's racing trucks and stuff.
Sure.
So it's like, I guess they want to see him kind of level out at the Cup level now that he's here for his second season, but it'll happen over time.
Kyle Busch went the opposite direction in a truck race and went after Ron Hornaday. I think it was Texas Motor Speedway. And he was suspended for several races. So again, once you get those things out of your head and you start to zero in on the maturity of an actual driver, he'll come around, I hope, because like Cole said Sunday night on the national show, dude, you're in for it if some of these drivers, Cole, that you have to cover for the next 20 years are winning races and can't go 2 or 3 sentences with an answer. And I'm not saying they can't speak English. I'm saying they're just not that exciting.
I mean, I just think, like I said, it's a maturity thing. Even Jimmy Johnson, I don't think he was like a very flashy personality, but he did all of us talking on the track. Like Richie just said, his racecraft was impeccable. That's why he's a 7-time champion. And I think that's why you see a lot of these younger drivers, you know, not being as outspoken and I guess have a bigger personality, because they want to showcase that mature demeanor and do all their talking on the racetrack.
I know we're going to talk Austin and COTA here in a moment, but that also brings up Hocevar, and get over it, Freak Nation. That's what we're calling him. On a road course where Ross Chastain made his mark, one of his many marks, with A.J. Allmendinger to go on for the win. And A.J. Allmendinger was the gentleman of the two and didn't go over and try and beat his ass for that debacle. But here's another opportunity for Hocevar to either go Hocevar someone, or to be the race car driver Carson Hocevar. And does he go bananas, or is he a little reserved?
I think one of the reasons he does not go bananas is because this is the week after him being in the limelight. And I think he's going to want to kind of pull back a little bit. Let's let that go, wash under everybody's thought processes. And let me just get to where is it next? Phoenix. Yeah, no.
But if you're Spire Motorsports, you're loving this.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Michael McDowell, another dude, has run roughshod over a few drivers. He's probably in the holler going, "You badass. Keep it up, you son of a bitch. Let's roll. Let's go, babe."
I can't see Michael
I don't
McDowell
think
saying
we're going
those
to see
words.
anything too crazy from him, only because he had mentioned during the post-race at Atlanta, like, usually I'm in the back running 40th, which not like 40th, but he'll be running like in the mid-20s or challenging for top 15s. You're not going to make these crazy moves if you don't have like a legitimate shot at the win, and ruffle feathers even more. So I think he'll be much more reserved. His road course program, I don't think is like the best, so I don't expect him to be a top.
It's got Michael
5,
McDowell
top
there,
10 contender, but you never know. If he has a shot at the win or a top 5, maybe you could see more of that
barrel rolls
used up.
So there's our take. Anybody else on Carson, Hocevar? Anybody else?
I just want to see him win, man. That'd be the best. That'd be the best thing ever.
It's coming.
Epic.
It'll happen.
Will it happen this year?
Mm.
I know. I don't think it will, unfortunately.
Hey, you never know. He had a good end to the
On the
year
mic.
last year, ripping off
On
the
the
top
mic.
15s consistently. So
Close to the
possible.
mic. Cole, close to the mic.
Spire's also
There you go.
improved their equipment and
Yes.
their program. So
Valid.
you never know.
All right, so there again, we coined the phrase Hocevar. All right, that's the alter ego of Carson Hocevar. God, couldn't you have a simpler name like Bob Smith? Damn it.
Bob Smith came in number 69 in the top 100 racing drivers of all time.
Nice, as Richard C. Suave would say. Go ahead and keep laughing.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to think who, and I'm like, oh, I get it.
Hey, we caught up with Mario Andretti. He celebrates his 85th birthday coming up on Friday, and he's been in the Freak Nation many, many times. And we spent a good hour with him earlier this week, and so many nuggets that came out of this thing. Two in particular. One is, Richie, let's do the NASCAR soundbite first. I was curious his take on his opinion, Formula One drivers, Champ Car drivers, what their opinion was on NASCAR drivers at the time, not just this old remote Southeast series. And frankly, his opinion kind of kicked me in the ass. It was awesome. Mario Andretti talking about how he and other drivers felt about NASCAR back in the day.
Wow.
What was the overriding opinion that day from yourself and maybe other open wheel drivers, even Formula One drivers, so their opinion of this stock car series known as NASCAR out of the Southeast? Did you guys have high regards for it, or is just something that was happening in the Southeast?
No, absolutely high regards. I mean, those were the years where, the Richard Petty's and, the Pearsons and all those dudes, Yarboroughs. I mean, those are big names that obviously, actually was revered in many, many ways as, one of the top disciplines, to go into. But, it's another one of those disciplines that you can do the whole career there and be totally happy and satisfied. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's at that level. It was at that level then, so, look, Richard Petty, he's the king, and he never drove anything else, just, NASCAR.
And that's, Crasher, that's one thing that's come to mind with us over the last 25 years, where you could have 20, 25 cars within a quarter, a third, a fifth of a second, and they all know they need to hit this certain mark at Texas Motor Speedway or Las Vegas or at COTA. that no one in their right mind that hasn't been in a car couldn't figure out without years and years of service in that race car. So to sit around and cut down stock car drivers because there's not that many road courses, I think is someone that's really ill prepared.
Well, and that's some of the fan base on the periphery, not true NASCAR fans. They're like, you're just driving in a circle. Oh my God, the nuances of it. No, it's not just driving in a circle. The pavement is different from track to track. The banking is different from track to track. The setup of the track, everything is at the minutia level. It's so different. So yes, you're exactly right. Hit this penny in turn 4, hit it every single time, 20 times in a row. And these drivers can do that.
Little did I know that Mario Andretti, who turns 85 on Friday, I had no idea he drove for Smokey Yunick. And if you don't know Smokey Yunick, just punch in that name right. Well, not wait for another 20, 30 minutes. Punch it in after you finish this show. And what you will learn about Smokey Yunick is bananas. It is absolutely bananas. What he tried to do, what he got caught doing, what he didn't get caught doing. But Mario Andretti had a chance to run with Smokey Yunick initially in the NASCAR Cup Series at the time.
The Daytona 500, yeah.
Yeah. Here is his description of running with Smokey Yunick for the first time in the NASCAR Cup Series for the Daytona 500.
Even in NASCAR, always, I think, decent equipment, except when I went there for my first 500 with Smokey Yunick. Smokey, he was a genius in his own right. But what he wanted me there because I was definitely a rookie, and he wanted to experiment with me because when you get a veteran, they want the setups that they know they're familiar with, but with me, he didn't want me to know anything. I couldn't even look at under the hood, and that I got an eye for the 500 and I wanted to get fitted up in the seat. He wouldn't let me go up to his garage and say, see you at the track, because he was afraid maybe I see something that I don't know. He was that secretive. It was really funny, but it wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny now. And when I went out there with that Chevelle, the thing was quick, but oh man, when I got to the banking, I thought I was on a pogo stick, and he was experimenting with all kinds of weird setups, and I couldn't, if he would not tell me about it. He would not tell me, okay, we have wedge, we have this and that. He said, just drive it, this and that. And I'll tell you what, the following year, the following year, 67, when I finally, I asked Ford, I said, I'd like to do the 500 after, I had won Sebring and all that. And no, I think I won Sebring after that. But anyway, I said, I like to do, I had a good relationship before, and I like to do the 500. So they put me with Holman and Moody. And the first practice that I did with, with my Fairlane, and Ralph Moody was, obviously overlooking the setup with me, and we had I had a crew chief, Jake Elder. It was really actually a suitcase Jake, but he was really good, and he that's what they call him because he moved around a little bit, but nevertheless, he knew what he was doing, and we unloaded, and I went out there. I said, "Oh man, now this is a race car." I thought I died and went to heaven.
Yeah, telling Mario Andretti, bro, you cannot get in the car, you cannot sit in the car prior to getting to the racetrack. Telling, I know he was a rookie at the time, but
you can't even come to the garage. Smokey, what were you doing to that car? Crash test dummy Mario.
The full interview with Mario Andretti will be put up on our YouTube page coming up on Friday, and we'll play some of it again on the national show coming up Sunday night on the Freak Radio Network, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and every other freaking media outlet that we've got. And then again on MAV TV on Monday. Mario Andretti celebrating 85 years being on this planet coming up on Friday. Some other headlines coming out of NASCAR. Bowman Gray Stadium is the early favorite to again host the NASCAR season opening Clash exhibition. Okay, great.
How do you really feel?
I think all of us were on the same opinion with this, where it was just, it's like, okay, great.
Remember when we were talking about Brazil like that week? It was like, oh yeah, we're going to Brazil.
Right. Yes.
Oops.
I'd rather.
Guess that's not happening anymore.
I would rather it be this way. Why have these guys travel all over the world for an exhibition race? I mean, I get the exposure element and all that, but like, give me a break. You're 2 weeks out from the 500, the biggest race of the year. You really want to put miles on these haulers and just tire everybody out before the season starts?
Hey, they get to hang out on the beaches of Brazil for a couple days. Like, where would you rather go if you were a driver? Would you rather go to Winston-Salem? Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina? Or would you rather go to the beaches of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil?
Ipanema.
I think for these guys, they appreciate the offseason more than anything because the season's so long. So if you're not going to be able to stay home and not have the Clash, which I feel like a lot of guys at this point would rather not run it, then the next best option is to stay close to home in North Carolina.
Listen, Dubai walks in with $500 million.
Oh, no.
It says, we'll ship all your ass over here.
No.
What do you mean no?
No, because Cole brings up such a good point. The off season is just so valued. You have 8-10 weeks, maybe a little bit more than that.
Not even.
But yeah. and it's like, no, don't travel all the way around the world and then 2 weeks later come back and do your biggest race of the year. Nope, not a fan.
I mean, so I was talking with Alex Bowman before the season even started, and I'm like, what have you missed about being in the race car? And he's like, honestly, I don't really miss anything at this point. And this was like a week before the Clash. He was like, because after the season ends in Phoenix, you still have like a month of media obligations and sponsor things to fulfill. So it's like you only have like 4 weeks of an off season. So it's a grueling schedule.
Richie, you got the violin? Anybody?
Well, guess what? NBA players get 3 months off. NHL gets 3 months off. Even Major League Baseball, we thought was the longest season in the year.
IndyCar gets 10 months off.
If you're Joel Embiid, you get a full season off too.
Yeah. Oh. It's like, why do we really give a shit about the safety of these drivers? Do we really care?
Of course.
Do we really care?
Yes.
I'm not saying go out there with no helmet and no seatbelt and have Hocevar on your ass. I'm saying we dive so deep into these topics, like we're so concerned about the safety of these drivers. Do we care about where they're going for the Clash? Really? If they're getting paid $1 million to have all their shit covered?
They're not all getting paid $1 million.
I'm saying if Dubai calls, they are.
No.
If Dubai calls, here's $500 million NASCAR. We're going to pay every team. We're going to cover their travel costs. $1 million for every team. And their travel. You can't tell me that Alex Bowman would go, hey, yeah. That trip to Tucson, I was going to have to go home for about a week and a half. I think I might go to Dubai.
$1 million is enough to even get William Boring to maybe perk up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, maybe not. No, because he just made like $4 million winning the Daytona 500 and was a snooze fest.
I'm not on a bike taking my daughter to school this morning going, God, I feel so bad for NASCAR drivers. They have 4 weeks off. Oh, my goodness. How many weeks do we have off?
Maybe 4. You're right. Maybe. And that's a big maybe.
They drive a freaking race car for 4 hours. We produce a show for 2. So
there's more than
I don't
just
want to
one
hear it with
show.
this. Oh my God, it's so bad. You can drive a race car. My God.
I do want a better race, though. And that's why I don't want Bowman Gray. I want a better race.
Okay.
So give me Atlanta or give me back to Daytona. I think we all know where I stand on that because I made that pretty clear a couple weeks ago. I want it back at Daytona. Bring it back.
Agreed.
Mic drop. Thank you, Crash. Well done.
Yeah, enough. And speaking of really getting hyped up, I'm just not that hyped up for Austin or COTA. And here you're going to go, well, Kenny, you're the road course dude. You want more road courses for NASCAR? Yes, I do. But right now, I'm just not that hyped up.
It's only Wednesday.
We know. I'm not saying this for you to agree or disagree. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I'm not that. Now, Sunday morning, maybe as we get closer, I will start to realize that this track has provided some fantastic episodes of Hocevarism.
Chastainism.
Yeah. Yes. And it's, again, in my home state, the capital of my home state. My sister lives a freaking, all right, she lives about a 3 iron from there. She's not a 9 iron. Yeah. But right now, I'm not that jacked up about it. Colsamano reminded us that they've cut off a mile of that tells you how long this damn track is, Cole.
Yeah.
If they're cutting off a mile to provide better racing.
I mean, yeah, isn't it going to shave a minute off the lap times too? I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. I'm kind of with you in a sense that, like, since this next-gen car was introduced, the road course package has tapered off quite a bit.
Yep.
First year, it was awesome racing. Now it's just kind of been like the short tracks product has been, in my opinion, as far as watchability. But I'm curious to see how the new layout works. I'm curious to see which drivers can adapt the quickest. And I think we all have a good idea of certain drivers that can, i.e. a SVG or Connor Zilisch maybe. But I think I am excited because I am excited for every single race weekend. But I do agree with you in a sense. It's like the road course stuff has not been the most compelling as of late.
But remember, when it was compelling, there were a lot of head injuries as well. The car just wasn't ready for the beating and banging of road courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of glad that at least the safety matter is a little better. But yeah, now how can we balance that safety matter with on-track entertainment, which Denny Hamlin doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to hear that we want entertainment, but we do.
I mean, that turn 6 should be very entertaining.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Extremely sharp turn. As we heard during last week's broadcast, these cars do not want to turn when they're at low speeds or slowing down. So I think there's going to be a lot of stack-ups. Might be a little parking lot there for majority of the event. So we'll see.
Now
could be another
I want chaos, dude.
I do.
Yes.
I want chaos. That's how you get people to tune in to TV.
Chaos at COTA.
There's chaos at COTA.
That's a hashtag.
And I will tell you, I absolutely love COTA. And the reason why I love it is because I've been playing a lot of the Formula One video game on PlayStation. And dude,
of course you have.
And I kid you not, COTA is probably my favorite track to drive. It is so much fun. It's such a cool track. It is not built for stock cars. Stock cars should not be racing there whatsoever. It is a Formula One track first and foremost because they took so many bits and pieces from other Formula One tracks and smashed it together in one. But it's not meant for stock cars. I will say, however, I am excited to see Connor Zilisch in this race. If you remember, about a month ago, I told you that I wasn't super excited about NASCAR this season in terms of storylines. But the one thing I was excited for was to see Connor Zilisch, not only in the Xfinity Series but in the Cup Series. He's making his Cup Series debut this weekend, Cole. And as you put out at the money stop on all your social media extravaganzas, Connor Zilisch is where right now in terms of the betting favorites?
He's co-favorites with SVG for the win at COTA in his Cup debut. Yeah.
Who's going to get suckered into that?
Probably a lot of people.
A lot of people. Yes.
Not me. Not my listeners on the money stop, right?
There you go. There you go.
Okay, that's what. Anyway, go ahead, Richie. I'm sorry.
No. I was just about to say that I want to see this kid at 18 years old who he said, I believe maybe this week or in the past, like he wants to be the youngest ever winner in the NASCAR Cup Series history. Right now, that is Joey Logano, who was just past 19 years old when he won his first career Cup Series race. But I want to see what this kid can do against the world's best stock car drivers. Right? He went into the Xfinity Series and won in his first career start. So I don't think he's going to get it done this weekend, but I cannot wait to see, with all the hype surrounding this kid, what he's going to be able to do in the Cup Series car, in the Trackhouse, in that Trackhouse car, which has won on road courses before, with the help of SVG as his teammate, Daniel Suarez as well. Like I think he's going to be up there. He's going to win, no, but I think that's what I'm excited for this weekend.
But if he does win, his stat sheet is going to be mind blowing. First ever race in Xfinity, win. First ever race in sports cars, win. First ever race, I think, in Trans Am, big boy Trans Am, win.
Daytona 24 hours.
That's why I said sports cars. Yeah, his first ever race there. Yeah, it's just like, ooh, if he does first ever racing Cup and wins. Whoa.
Hey, Cole, of course, Cole and his brother with the money stop, which you can see on our YouTube page at Official Speed Freaks. If I wanted to parlay Zilisch with a another road course specialist, not necessarily a hard favorite, but maybe a mid-level favorite. If I wanted to parlay Zilisch with, gosh, not even AJ Allmendinger, but maybe who could it be?
Larson?
Well, McDowell's probably sitting up there, right?
No, actually, he's not. He's way down there in the odds list. So I was actually going to say Michael McDowell is someone I would parlay for a top 10 finish with Connor Zilisch for a top 5 if you wanted to. I would only really advocate for a top 10 prop on Connor Zilisch, honestly, just because it is his Cup debut. I know he's a wildly talented driver, but I guess there is potential for a top 5 in my opinion, only because he's going to get that extra track time in the Xfinity Series this weekend. And I think any additional track time is going to be very important in terms of adapting for all these Cup drivers. And they're going to get a full practice session, but I just think you can't put a price on the laps he's going to get in the Xfinity Series too. So I would, if you feel comfortable about top 5, you parlay that with the top 10 for Michael McDowell, but I would probably do a top 10 for Zilisch.
Where's AJ? Where's
AJ's
Allmendinger in this?
He's up there as well. He's within the top 10.
Right.
Let's pull the odds list up here.
And who else is doing double duty?
William Byron. William Byron's doing double duty.
Oh,
God.
Big deal there.
I hope he wins both
AJ
races. I hope he wins both races. I do.
AJ is right outside the top 10, plus 1,400, right behind Ross Chastain and Ty Gibbs for race winner odds. So
Ty Gibbs. Well, yeah. Okay, I could see that.
So there's your insight to COTA, Freak Nation. Again, I'm getting a little excited now that we had that conversation about some of these dudes rolling in there with where they. I mean, Michael McDowell sitting there so deep. Holy smokes!
he had an incredible race at Atlanta. I'm curious to see how they parlay that in success here. You know,
Richie, do you want to do the with the Oscars?
I would
Rolling
love
up
to,
this-
yes, but I don't think any of you guys are ready to do it.
Oh, I'm
I
so
am.
ready.
I'm born ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. Okay. Explain to the Freak Nation, Richard C., what we're about to do here, and just a brief explanation.
Yeah, okay. So the Oscars are this weekend, the biggest night in movies.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out what the best picture of the year is. We're going to find out the best actor, best actress, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to go to Motorsports movies. And one of my favorite movie podcasts is called The Big Pick. They cover movies all year round on the Ringer Network, on YouTube, and on your podcast networks. And one of the things they do a lot is they do movie drafts. And so I thought we could engage the Freak Nation in a little bit of a thought experiment and draft our favorite motorsports movies.
Oh, yes.
I don't know how we're going to pick the draft order.
How many rounds are we going to have?
25.
Wait,
Well,
wait, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
No,
We're going to have 3 or 4.
We'll pick 4 movies each. Yeah, we'll go.
Okay.
We'll go for
That's 16. That's 16 motorsports movies.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty.
Woo.
There's plenty. Yeah.
And Crasher, do you know what happens after this when we have our picks? Richie will put them up on
Sure.
what they call social media nowadays,
What
and we'll
they
let the
call?
Freak Nation decide.
And we'll
Sure.
put out a poll
Absolutely.
and who drafted the best team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Nice.
The Oscars movie draft for motorsports.
I'm so confident in my picks and how deep they are that I say we go with the youngest first.
Okay.
Ooh, really?
We go Cosimano, we go Richard C., Crash, and yours truly.
I think
Okay.
Rich should go first because it was his idea.
No.
Really?
I want.
Cole, take advantage.
I don't. Here's what I don't
Okay,
want. I
okay.
don't want the second pick because that's the worst to have. Because we're gonna do a snake draft. And
Oh, that's right.
yeah, snake draft. You go 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, and then they come back around.
Yep.
So yeah, Cole will go
Let's
first.
pull up my list.
I will go.
You don't even have a list. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I made a
Did
list.
he did. Did he prepare? Did he put together
Yes.
a big board?
What the hell is that?
No, he's moving his computer. He just Googled motorsports movies. That's all he did.
How did you go through your freaking VHS collection in there?
No, you threw those away a couple of years
Jesus
ago.
H. Yeah, I went to online to find the freaking movies.
Is there like a parameter for this? Are we doing like best? It's just
Make
Best
it's
movie.
anything that is. It's motorsports movies. Take with that what you will.
okay.
And remember who our audience is going to be, because a Talladega Nights fan versus a Rush fan, or I don't want to give it away.
I'm gonna go with my personal personal favorites then.
Yeah.
Because
so do we?
I'm a
There's
big-
not a lot of stock car
Do you
movies.
want to wear
though.
the
Let's just
jacket?
I'm a
as you
big
say
movie
it?
guy myself. You know what? I might need it because I would be doing myself a disservice and everybody in this room and everybody who's a motorsports fan by not taking Days of Thunder with the number 1 pick. Cole Trickle, Cole Cusimano, locking it in. Number 1 pick. Hey. Days of Thunder.
All about the coal.
That's right.
I think that was probably the favorite. That's a great pick. Okay, I'm number 2 overall. And you just, thank you. This is like a Kobe Bryant lob pass to Shaquille O'Neal slam dunk in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I'm taking with the 2nd overall pick in the Speed Freaks Motorsports movie draft. Come on up here, Ricky Bobby. Get your trophy. I'm taking Talladega Nights number 2.
Wow. Bold.
No. Well, there takes all the funny ones out of there. All right, well. All right, with the 3rd pick, I will go. So Kenny doesn't take it. I'm going to go Rush. I really liked the casting of Rush. It was one of the first in my opinion, not so flamboyant motorsports movies of the modern era because, well, we had been through the Driven Ring and all that stuff. And Rush finally was able to figure out great acting with a pretty damn decent script. So yeah, Rush all the way, number 3.
So it looks like I'm going the serious direction here.
I went serious.
Well, remember, I've got to go back to back.
Oh, yeah, you do.
We brought this gentleman's name up earlier. I'm going to go Senna from a number 1.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm going Ford versus Ferrari, number 2.
Great pick.
Let's go.
I was surprised you didn't pick that one, Richie. Ford versus Ferrari.
So Senna,
it was on
Ford
my list
versus
for
Ferrari.
sure. Actually, right. I kid you not. Kenny, you literally just stole probably who was going to be my next 2 picks.
Yikes.
If you haven't seen it, Senna, the documentary about Ayrton Senna's life, is one of the best sports documentaries.
Sports documentaries. One of the most best documentaries, I'll even say.
I think you could say that. It's terrific. And that's how I got introduced to Ayrton Senna in the first place.
You know that he ran in Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
Formula 1 race?
Yes, I did know that.
Do you know who his bodyguard was when Formula 1 raced in Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've got one of his bikes right here on the table.
Yep. West Coast Chopper Zone, Jesse James.
Oh.
Had to wake Ayrton Senna up.
Yep.
And he was just kind of sitting by his truck and he was passed out, taking a nap. Passed out. And Jesse's like, hey, you got to go to a meeting. You got to go. Okay. Gets up. He goes.
There it is.
Pretty cool.
All right, so
I'm kind of in your theme there, and I didn't know I was going to pick this movie until you said, Kenny, Ford versus Ferrari. I'm going to go, speaking of Oscars, this one was up for some awards. How many years ago? 2 years ago, I believe. Just plain old Ferrari. Penelope Cruz freaking crushed Laura Ferrari in this movie, and I think a lot of the other cast of characters around this flick was just amazing. Was there some sensationalization? Absolutely. But I love Ferrari. Boom. Knock that for my number 2.
All right. We're crushing this so far. Okay. Where are we at? Give me Cars, baby. Give me the original Cars.
Damn it, you bastard, man.
Let's go.
Oh, you got to pick it. Cars 1, 2, or 3.
I'm taking the original. That's the only one I've seen. I haven't seen the rest.
Nice. Oh, wow. Really?
No. Wow. I know Lewis Hamilton shows up in Cars 2, so I should probably watch it. But
yeah, seriously, man.
Yeah, but Paul
That's your
Newman's
boy.
in Cars 1. So
All right.
Paul Newman for the win.
I feel like pickings are kind of slim here. So I'm going to take one movie that's kind of obscure, and you could make the case maybe it's not like motorsport specific,
That's all right.
but Drive, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, featuring Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
He plays a Hollywood stuntman. He's a getaway driver as well. I love Refn's movies. I think he's an incredible director. This is a really great stylized movie, great soundtrack.
it's terrific. Yeah.
Got to go Drive with my number 2 pick.
All right.
And
I will say, I know we joked about this beforehand, but that's barely a motorsports movie. There's no actual racing in that movie.
That's what I was going to get at, man. It's like Die Hard.
Yep.
It is.
Die Hard is not a
Die
Christmas
Hard.
movie.
Yeah, Die Hard. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh,
Not.
It is.
No.
It is.
See, but so is Drive a motorsports
It's
movie?
a
Probably
car
not.
movie.
It's probably not, honestly.
It's a car movie. But again, you make the rules like they're so we'll allow it. But
We make the rules like NASCAR, so they're rubber rules.
Yeah. Check back with us on Friday. We may change it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
Richard?
Yeah.
Or did you?
No, Cole goes again.
I go again, right?
Cole goes
Yeah.
again. Yep.
So I'm gonna go pretty bold here, actually. I'm gonna go with Cars 3 for the number 3 pick. And I like this movie a lot. I don't think it does not get the praise it deserves. because when this movie came out in like 2017, I believe, that was when
You were
all
6?
these drivers. What? I was 6. Yeah. This was when all these drivers like Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, they were all retiring. And it just struck a chord with me seeing all this new generation of drivers get ushered into NASCAR. And it just felt very timely and very, very accurate for the sport at the moment. A lot of good cameos as well with Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, and some other good like NASCAR like Easter eggs in there as well.
Sure.
Shout out Jocko Flacco. But yeah, I'm going to go Cars 3 at number 3.
Nice. All
Look at
right,
Richie. He's digging now.
I know.
He's
We're
digging now.
We're going into the deep end here. The deep end. I think I might actually break my own dang rules here because
what?
I'm gonna break my own dang rules. Give me the original Fast and Furious.
Okay.
If we're going, yeah.
I'll take it.
Listen, what are the rules here, man?
That's car racing. That's street racing.
Yeah, it's drag
That's
racing.
street
Yeah.
racing.
It's
yeah.
more of a racing movie than Drive, I think.
I agree, but you bastards.
Good pick. Good pick.
The parameters that my internet search none of that ever came up.
Got to get creative there, Kenny.
He just got a whole nother group of followers to be like, yes, I'm with you,
That's
Richie.
like me saying the freaking Roadster Racers on the Mickey Mouse.
Oh, what a great little show. It
Yeah,
was
I had
cute,
Danica
actually.
Patrick in there. I had Jimmy
Yeah,
Johnson, Jeff
and
Gordon.
Yeah.
so
Mickey
I'm
Mouse
gonna
and
go
the
there.
Roadster
All right,
Racers.
what's your pick?
All right, come on, my IndyCar peeps. I know you're here with me on this one. Let's go. Sorry, the Senna documentary was awesome, but this one upped it. Lion freaking Heart. Let's go, Lionheart. The story about Dan Weldon, the tearjerker. If you haven't seen it yet, OM freaking G. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's ask Cole how many times he's seen Lionheart.
It just came out last year, so it's okay if you haven't seen it yet.
I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
Exactly 0.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Exactly 0.
Dude,
Just get ready for
get
a cry
the
fest.
tissues.
Yeah, get
absolutely.
Get the
Yeah.
dang tissues out for that one. That's for sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to say I'm tied between two. And again, this what blows about this is some of the vintage movies that I know 20-somethings and 30-somethings haven't seen. But I'm still going to put it out there because I'm going to go to my old guy rule here and pick. I've got to go boom, boom, don't I?
You got to go boom, boom.
Back to back with your last two picks. Yep.
I'm going one of the greatest, 1956 or 55, I believe. Oh, I'm getting confused. You've got Le Mans with Steve McQueen.
There you go.
And then I'm going to go Grand Prix.
Okay. You
You
got
see-
all your old people. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Right?
They were decent movies, though. They really were.
It's a good lineup.
For their time, yes.
So I'm going Grand Prix, Le Mans, and then God, what a freaking downer 4 picks I've got here, man. I'm funny. There's no jokes. in
Yeah,
it.
Kenny has taken Senna, Ford versus Ferrari, Le Mans, and Grand Prix as your 4 picks.
Yeah. Damn, how boring.
No, it's not boring at all,
No,
man.
it's
You
Any-
crushed with
Any 4 of those come on, and I'm channel surfing, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
You know what? I was also going to go freaking Herbie Lovebug. Seriously, you laugh?
Lindsay Lohan?
No, the OG.
Oh, the OG guy.
No, man, the OG. You kidding me?
The OG.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Crash.
sorry.
This will be your 4th and final pick.
All right. So let's see. I've got a little bit of sports cars, Formula One, definitely got IndyCar in there, and now I'm going drag racing. And I'm going younger
damn it.
demographic.
Damn it. No. You're going younger?
I'm going younger
Oh,
demographic.
no.
I'm not doing
You're not doing
I'm doing not doing SM.
You're not doing
I'm
that
not doing SM. No, I'm not doing SM because I'm going for the younger vote, and I'm going for a woman that is still driving in NHRA Pro Stock, and she is a freaking badass. She's going for her 20th title. Kidding, but kind of close. Erica Enders and her sister Courtney Enders. You just brought up Disney earlier, Kenny. So this
You're
is
just
a
trying
Disney
to
movie.
you're trying to sway the votes. Eric Enders is going to retweet.
Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, come on. Plus, it's a good movie. Kids still talk about this.
We just
They
got our
still
ass
look this
kicked,
up.
guys.
Yes,
we
you
just
did.
got our ass kicked.
Erica Enders,
Yeah.
Courtney Enders, their story right on track. Boom! Nailed it.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's
that was good.
That's a mic drop from
Emphatic.
Crash
That was
there.
good. That was really good.
Actually, that actually just reminded me. I think I'm going to take it with my 4th and final pick because I think you even hinted at it, which is another Disney Channel original movie. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one. I watched it when I was young. This was my introduction to motocross, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
what you're doing. Yeah, go, go, go.
It's a movie called Super Motocrossed.
There you go.
And it is the story of a motocross racer who gets hurt, and in order to continue racing, his sister essentially takes over for him on track and goes and smokes the rest of those boys, and they have no clue about it. So yeah, it's Motocross. Sorry, it's called, the name of the movie is called Motocrossed.
Motocrossed.
Disney Channel
Yep.
original movie. It came out when I was like 8 years old. Me and my sisters loved it. That's my final pick.
Girl power.
Mhm.
Man, if we get out of this without picking this one movie that you were going to pick, Crasher, that's crazy. That
Okay, Cole, the one that you have to pick is called
Me-
Heart Like a Wheel.
look behind me. We have the NHRA 50th anniversary autograph. There's Shirley Muldowney's on this damn, and nobody picked it. Well, sorry, Cole. Go ahead.
My bad.
But it's in the older.
I've
kind
not
of
seen
realm.
that one.
okay.
And this last pick's going to be definitely NASCAR skewed. But I'm going to go with Logan Lucky. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that one, but it's a great cast. Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig. It's a heist movie, but it's centered around NASCAR, and there's bits of it that take place at Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's drivers in there as well, like Ryan Blaney. So this was a fun one. I got to watch it again, honestly, because I've only seen it like a couple
Now
times.
I want to watch it.
It's a good movie, though.
It's good.
And I just want to give a shout out to Demi Moore. Hope she wins Best Actress this weekend for The Substance.
Which, by the way, have you seen Substance?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow, did she crush?
Horror is back.
Oh,
Love
you're
it.
right. Holy cow. Real quick. Do you have to have the last name Driver to be in all these damn movies? Adam Driver's been in what, 3 of the movies that we mentioned?
True.
Wow. Andy, didn't he wave the green flag at the Indy 500?
Can
a
I
couple
just
years
say
ago?
this though?
Yeah, you just said this.
If it's up to Rotten Tomatoes, I'm
Mhm.
running away with this.
Well, it's not up to Rotten Tomatoes. It's up to
Probably.
you, Freak Nation. You vote.
Rotten Tomatoes, Senna at number 1 with 93%, and Ford versus Ferrari 92%.
Guess what? Senna, love you. But there's a thing called Lionheart. A little bit more in the fields.
Oh,
Way more in the fields.
Brutal.
Just saying.
Wow.
got the outro ready to go, Richard C?
Oh yeah, let me pull it up here. Let me pull it up. Hello, where are you?
Kenny thinks he's
there it
going
is.
to win. He's not.
Look at that 4 shot there.
I got
buddy. Hey, remember, Freak Nation, you can. Where are you going to put these on Twitter or the Gram?
It will be up on the internet.
Okay.
At SpeedFreaks.
On the internet. So Twitter and the
On
gram?
the internet.
On Twitter, Gram, Facebook,
Talk.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Will
And
we
we'll get-
have results by Christmas?
Just in time to watch Die Hard, right?
Yes.
Oh, you nailed it.
Will we have results by
Sunday night show.
Yeah, by Sunday night.
I
show.
will run the poll until Sunday night, and we'll have the winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, of course, Facebook, website speedfreaks.tv, at SpeedFreaks on Twitter. Specifically, I think that's where Rich is going to actually anchor the damn thing, right? Or X.
I told you it's going to be everywhere, man.
Okay.
We're everywhere. We're on. Like I said, we're getting old. You more importantly are getting called old on TikTok.
Mhm.
Old man. So
Speaking
we're-
of, wasn't that? That's just beautiful. Listen, I had an article written about me in the Dallas Observer when I was probably Cole's age, where they took out 2 or 3 pages of just hammering me. And from that point forward, it's like, pff, it's awesome.
Let's go.
It just doesn't.
Bring it.
You get into different corridors of hate around me, then that's not right. But if you want to come after me all freaking day, love it. It's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Family's off limits. But
yeah, apparently
personally
when you
fine.
call a NASCAR driver boring, that's what crosses the line.
Yes.
oh,
That's how you piss people off.
I'm just old. I am just old, according to some people. Well, it depends how old you are, you happy bastard. Get off the couch. Tell your mama to make you some eggs.
hey. OMG.
All right, man. We'll do it again next Wednesday for Horsepower Hump Day. But more importantly, don't forget Speed Freaks, Sunday nights, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, the Freak Radio Network, MAV TV on Mondays. You can't miss us. For more information, go to speedfreaks.tv. And don't forget, the Money Stop drops Friday mornings when?
At 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Copy. Fantastic insight to where you should lay your bread on the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series races coming up every week.
Just because Connor Zilisch is sitting number 1 in Vegas's eyes, you're seriously maybe not going to point him in that direction?
No. We want to win people money, not lose them money.
Just stay tuned.
I know, but I'm using that as a tease.
All right. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing. See ya.